Why, hello. How are you guys all doing today? Welcome back to Psych Substance. It's no surprise to you guys to hear that I have had numerous psychedelic experiences, probably in the hundreds. I'm not embarrassed to say that. And in the early days of my exploration, a big thing that I was trying to sort out, as with a lot of people, is what happens when you die. So I was on this huge philosophy kick, listened to every Alan Watts lecture on YouTube, probably 10 plus times, because everyone reposts that shit like crazy. And I just really wanted to get a grasp on what happens, because as with all of us feeble humans, the thought of dying and just being nothingness terrified me. And I was looking for some kind of proof that there's more going on than just you live one life and you die. So let's cover what the psychedelics have shown me.
Before we continue, just a quick message from this video's sponsor, which is me. We still are offering these awesome trip blankets. We got some new stock in. These things are the hooded trip blankets. Now what I've done is I've created these awesome glove mitten parts that actually double with a button as pockets so you can store all of your stuff in there. And these things are basically marketed as being super freaking soft. And I'm telling the truth, these things are crazy soft because they're designed by trippers for trippers. So head on over to psychsubstance.shop and pick up your very own cozy trip blanket today.
Now, first I want to touch on past lives. A lot of people believe that they have karma that follows them through life and that they have certain karmic connections with certain individuals, and it carries on life after life after life. So this was a big one that I wanted to get to the bottom of, because if you believe that past lives exist, that you get reincarnated, you basically are believing that you will continuously live again. And for some religions, like, the whole point is to get out of the reincarnation cycle and finally be done with it. But for other people, especially us in the West, we see that as like, oh, I'm just going to come back. I got a free ticket back here anytime, so I can throw my life in the garbage and try again next time. Now, as I said, I've dove deep into the recess of my subconscious mind using various plant medicines, psychedelics like LSD, and I've gone on these huge philosophy kicks, and I do have to say that I don't know if that is true. Every time I get the same answer, that we are all sharing the same consciousness. We are all essentially one, as you've heard so many people on acid say. And in death, what we do is rejoin that oneness. If this is the case, how can we all have an individualized past life? If we're all intimately the same, we share the same ultimate karmic journey. Unless, of course, you want to view each of us as an isolated timeline following an individual journey, flattening the boundaries of space and time into some kind of a malleable putty that can be stretched infinitely in any direction, plotting each one of our lifetimes in some kind of synchronistic space, defying all laws, all known laws. What this means is you could die and your next life takes place in the past or the future. I mean, you could have one life where you're your mom, and then the next life you're experiencing being your father. But of course, this concept would completely eliminate free will. It would imply that your life played out more like a movie where all of your choices were predetermined and you were kind of just chugging along like a train on rails. Now, to me, I don't know about you guys, but to me, this eliminates the whole purpose of growth and learning new things in each karmic journey, and it kind of sounds really fucking desolate, to be honest. So, given all the data that I've reviewed about this past life stuff, I would say that humans think they are too special. I mean, it seems ridiculous. It seems like we have one life and then we die, and people just don't want to accept that. Now, unless, of course, the next point is that you want to review, or you want to view all of this as if it's a simulation, like a simulated reality. You know, more like a game than anything truly serious, where all the rules could potentially be broken at any time. So really, it just comes down to, what do you want to believe? I've personally viewed this reality as both incredibly simple and terribly complex simultaneously. And to be honest with you guys, I can't decide what to choose. If I had to make a decision, though, I would say that this place is more like a game, but not really like a video game, more like it's constructed of complex mathematical code that really can't be seen in our three-dimensional space. You got to step outside the bounds of this dimension to view the code in like 4D. Otherwise, there's no way to really see it. And I think this is why I was so drawn to these mind-expanding experiences brought on by psychedelics, because they allow you to step outside the bounds of normal consciousness and to see things in such a, astonishing way. They allow you to see what's really going on beyond, that veil that's normally cloaking everything, and that doesn't really let you see the truth. And, I've had a lot of experiences like this where I, say with Smoke DMT, I had the experience. I felt like I was imparted with all the answers to all of the universe. Everything made sense. And then I would wake up and it was like I had to re-download the data file for who Adam was. And it really felt like that. Like all of a sudden, as I'm coming to from the DMT space, I'm remembering like past memories, who I am, where I am, what I'm doing. And it just like all comes to me at once. And then as soon as that new file comes and overwrites whatever was learned in the DMT space, all that knowledge from DMT world just disappears. It's like my brain could not hold both things at once. When new information comes in, it pushes old information out. It's interesting, and it also feels like when you say the DMT is a good example, when you get sucked out and you really get launched into that new alternate reality, it really does feel like you're outside of your mind. It doesn't feel like an experience that's happening inside the confines of this. It feels like you are actually in another place. And whatever the you is that's there, when you're there, all your memories of this place get wiped clean. So while I was there, I mean, there's so many different kinds of experiences that can happen. I didn't really remember what it was to be Adam here. I was like a different thing, but somehow I was still me. And then upon returning, now I'm Adam again, and then whatever I was in that place is gone. It was very interesting, and I think that does give a lot of insight into the potential that can happen when you die. A lot of people find a lot of key similarities between DMT space and death space. I mean, between a near-death experience and, a DMT experience. And people say even more so in common is 5-methoxy-DMT, which they say is more prone to those spiritual type experiences than regular DMT, which is more prone to meeting aliens and shit. So there's a lot of similarities that people have found. And if you ask me, if there is a place that you go to when you die, the DMT experience is our best tangible example of what that's going to be like. But of course, this is all coming from a guy who's never actually died. I mean, none of us have really died for good, or we wouldn't be here. When it comes down to is when you're in that space. And again, DMT is not the only way to get there. High doses of mushrooms. I mean, molecularly speaking, they're very similar. High doses of LSD, mescaline. I think they can all get you to that place. It just really depends on both the dose. It's not just the dose, it's the dose and where you are in your mind at the time. I've had experiences where I felt, for lack of a better term, enlightenment, okay? Where I merged one with everything. I was no longer me, and it was like I could see everything from the lens of being everything. And it was like a tab of acid. But I went into it with Alan Watts playing one of his lectures, and it just put my mind in the right space to be able to retrieve that download, if you will. So it's not necessarily just take a big ass dose and be blasted and you're going to for sure feel some enlightenment experience. It's not like that at all. You really need to have your coordinates set to the right zone. And the only way to do that is usually to make sure that you're on that path outside of the psychedelic space. Same with like entering that death place. You kind of have to already be on your way in the sober state to map out where to go. So I found that very interesting because a lot of people just think, yeah, I'll take a massive dose and then I'll get blasted and I'll know exactly what it's like to die, or I'm going to feel enlightened. And if only it was that simple. It's not that simple. You got to put the work in everyday life to really retrieve the most benefits from some of these experiences. So in conclusion, what I would say they have taught me about death, for me, I think I learned the most from smoked DMT, just to be honest, about what happens when you die. Of course, ego deaths brought on by regular traditional psychedelics, acid mushrooms, can teach you a lot too. But for me, that really was the most powerful. And what it ultimately showed me is I cannot pinpoint what it is, where it is that you go, if it's even a place. I can tell you for sure that you don't go anywhere. Whatever the you is dead for good. Like there really is only one Adam, and when he's gone for good, which is confusing because then you would say if he's gone for good, then how are you continuing? And it's like, I don't think we have words for it. I really don't think we have words for it, which is a really good cop-out of saying I just don't know how to fucking explain it. But there is something really crazy going on. I know that much for sure. Something outside the bounds of regular consciousness that you can only access when your mind is in the right state and with, of course, the right vehicle. The vehicle being the compound or medicine, if you will, that you want to take to arrive you at your destination. Anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you do, head on over to psychsubstance.shop. You can get one of these awesome trip blankets. Your support really helps getting the channel going. We've been on a bit of a hiatus trying to get the momentum rolling now. So if you enjoyed this video, you can also follow us on Patreon where we post uncut versions, the stuff we can't show here. Leave a like, leave a comment, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Thank you.